Welcome back. This is really part two. In the last video we talked about multitasking. In this video I'm just going to show you how to use timers. It's going to be real quick, hopefully. And so what you want to do is, if you start off with the program that I did, then it'll be a lot easier, but you don't have to. If you haven't done the video before this, then you might just want to type up something real quick. So just to recap, what we did is we created a couple of functions where it has to do with the values of the three LEDs that are plugged into the Cortex right now. I have a red, a yellow, and a green, and I also have an emergency button. I have those set for digital out. Okay, so the sensor is or the button is a touch sensor, digital in, at least it should be, and these are digital out. Okay, and then these functions are specifying whether the red one is on and the other ones are off, if the green one's on and the other ones are off, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this little program was to make things use multiple tasks, to make things blink when I wanted them. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my blink tasks because I don't need them. And so what I'm going to do to indicate that they're not part of my code right now is I am going to highlight them. And a feature of the RobotC IDE is you can do Control Q. And if you highlight and then push Control Q, it will comment your highlighted selection. If you highlight again and push Control Q, it will take it right back off. Okay, so it's pretty handy. Alright, so I am going to use all three lights this time around. I'm going to create a traffic light, and I'm going to, again, I'm going to get rid of, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and take this and also comment it out and then start back here. So, alright, so the very first thing I want to do is I want to use a timer. So I'm going to say clear timer. Anytime I'm going to use a timer, I want to clear it to make sure that there's not already a value, that the timer hasn't been running, whatever the case is. So I'm going to say clear timer T1. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get something going. So I'm going to say while, and then I'm going to say time 1. You can use time 1, time 10, or time 100, and those are a way to identify how you want to interpret the timer's information. So time 1, for instance, is saying, if you were to say time 1, it's per millisecond. So time 1 equals, say, let's see, time 1 T1, if it is less than 3,000, that would be 3 seconds. So each increment is 1 millisecond, and if you use time 1. And in time 10, it's just, it would be, I would use 300, and those would be 300 tenths, or anyway, I think you get the idea. Okay, so it's a while time 1, T1 is less than 3,000, which is basically, if I reset it, then this is what's going to happen for the first 3 seconds. So for the first 3 seconds, I want to do, let's start with green, because it goes green, yellow, or red. So we'll do green light. All right, and then while time 1 T1 is, now I messed up. I realized I said greater than. I meant to do less than. There we go. While T1 is less than 6,000. And now the cool thing about this is it's going to run these loops in order. So it's going to do the while is less than 3,000. It's going to do that first, and it's not going to do the second one until that one is done. So it'll continue looping. It won't come out of that loop until that first one is done, because obviously this second while statement we have right here, it's showing that, you know, it's less than 6,000. Well, the timer is going to be less than 6,000 in the very beginning. So why wouldn't they both run? Well, because there's an order to them. Okay, so I have while. That I'm going to say yellow light. All right, and see how much easier it is when you set up functions. You don't have to type as much stuff that you would normally. You can even do more than I'm doing. So I'm going to do 3-second increments, and you really don't have to do one for this last, but there's a reason for it. So red light, and it's pretty much like that, okay? Again, if you're just joining us for this video, those functions look just like that. Red light is just that the red light is on and the other two lights are off. That's all that it is, okay? So at that, I would like to go ahead and give it a shot and see, make sure it works before I get too much further. So I'm going to say compile program. And download the robot. Okay, and I'm going to click start. Here we go. Green, yellow, red. All right, that's the whole program. And we didn't turn the red one off, so it's probably just going to stay on. All right, so I click start again. Green, yellow, red. Perfect. I got my basic thing done, and that is just how you use a timer right there. One of the really cool things that you can do if you want to watch your timer reset and everything, let's do this. We have a clear timer right here, and so what we'll do is we'll loop our entire program. We'll loop our entire program just like that. And I'm going to fix the formatting here, and I'm going to download to the robot. Make sure that it works again. Okay, now if you have the debugger window open and you have the timers one, you'll see the system time. So my Cortex has been running for quite a while. You got program time and then you have timer 1. Now when I click start, I should notice timer 1 should go to 0, and it did. 1, 2, 3, and the yellow light is on. 6, and the red light is on, and back to 0. And you can see it going down there. 7, 8, 9, back to 0. Okay, so it's kind of cool. You can watch your timers running. So everything works great. But what if it was an emergency? What if this is a traffic signal? Red light, green light, you know? And what if it was an emergency and I wanted to stop the traffic light? Well, you could make it so that anytime you push and hold the button, it turns red. And a lot of people do that, and a lot of the solutions for this problem I've seen are written that way. But I don't really like having a green light immediately turning to a red light. As a driver, I think that would probably cause an accident, or it could anyway. So I think it would be better to continue on with our cycle to go to a yellow light and then to a red light. If an ambulance is going through, they're going to have lights, you know, sirens, everything going. And so if for some reason somebody doesn't notice, anyway, I feel like it would be best to have the cycle continue, to go through a yellow light and then a red light. And so what I'm going to have is, instead of just having, if the button is pressed, turn the light red, I'm actually going to have a completely separate task, or a completely separate function rather. I'm not going to use a task that will go red or yellow red. Okay, so I'm going to do that up here, and I'm going to call it panic. Okay, not a task, a function. I'm going to call it panic, and the way it's going to work is it's going to first of all go yellow light, and then I'm just going to use a wait, because I want it to be a yellow light for 2 seconds, and then red light. And I want it to be a red light for, let's say, 4 seconds, just to make sure that the ambulance has time to get through. Okay, and I'm gonna, oh, that's not how you do it. Come on, Mr. Johnston. There we go. We got yellow light, wait 2 seconds, red light, and then wait 4 seconds. There we go. Pretty simple function. If I click compile program, make sure I don't make any mistakes. All right, looks good. I'm going to go down to my task main, and each time one of these is running, so for instance, in the first 3 seconds, this guy's going. What I want it to do is to see if the button's been pressed. So I'm going to say if, and my condition is going to be if sensor value, and the sensor is emergency button, is equal to, now I can't remember if it's 0 or 1, so what we'll do is when we compile it and upload it, we'll check the sensors debugger window. I think it's 1. So we'll say if sensor value emergency button is equal to 1, then we want to run our panic function. Okay, so I have if the button is pressed, I want to do panic, else it's going to be a green light. Fix the formatting here, compile the program, make sure I didn't make any mistakes again. Alright, now I could go ahead and download this now and try it, but I have to try it while the light is green. I want to make sure that this is going to work for every single one of the lights. So I'm going to copy that part. And you got to be careful when you do copy paste like this. Make sure that you don't make any errors. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I need another curly brace here. And then even... Now, I don't need it during the red light. I don't need it during the red light at all. Okay. But just in case the timer has been running too long, I think I will do it for red light. No, I won't. Okay. Fix the formatting again. Compile the program, make sure I didn't make any errors, which I might have. I don't remember if I put in that second curly brace or not. Well, looks like it did. Looks like it compiled okay. Alright, so I'm going to download it to the robot. Moment of truth here. So what we want to see happen is the program to run a green, yellow, red sequence, green, yellow, red, until I push the button. If I push the button once, it should go yellow, red, and then it should hold red for 4 seconds. And when that's done, it should go right back to green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. So let's just see what's going on. Let's click start. Green, yellow, red, great. Okay, green again, green. Okay, so we've got our cycle here. Yellow, red. Now I'm going to push it on green. So it's a green light. Ambulance is coming. Yellow, red. Perfect. Now it should go to green again. Now it's going to hold that red light. So, okay, great. Green, yellow, red. Okay, and this time I'm going to push it when it's a yellow light. Okay, so it's green. Now it's a yellow light. I'm going to push it yellow, red. So it held the yellow light a little bit longer, but that's okay. Yellow, red, green, and then press it, yellow, red. Okay, perfect. And of course I could go in and I could adjust my times if I want my yellow light to be shorter, longer, whatever the case is. I have that flexibility. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I think that really demonstrates how to use a timer, how to use a function, how to do a lot of different things. You could reassemble this information in all different kinds of ways. So hey, if you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm going to do a lot more RobotC videos, but I'm also probably going to upload some videos about my drones and a few other little things that if you're into this kind of stuff, you'll probably like that stuff too. Anyway, thanks so much. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter. It's Johnston Mark A. And thanks so much. Have a good one.